Hey guys, welcome back to this SQL tutorial course. In this session, we will work with a case statement. So the SQL case statement helps us in multi-way decision making. So let's take this example to understand case statement properly. Let's say there are 10 buttons starting from 1 to 10. So if the person selects 1, then he wants tea. If he selects 2, then he wants to order coffee. Similarly, if he selects 3, then he wants milk. And for any other case, the person will order water. So this is basically how the case statement works. So the case statement goes through conditions and returns a value when the first condition is met. And this is the syntax for the case statement. So we'll type in case, following which we'll give the when keyword and give the first condition. After that, we'll type then and specify what will happen if this condition is satisfied. And we'll do the same for the rest of the conditions. After that, we'll type else and state what will happen if none of the above conditions are satisfied. Finally, we'll give the end keyword. So now let's go to SQL Server and start working with the case statement. So I'll check some conditions using the case statement. So first I'll check if 10 is greater than 20, and if this evaluates to true, I'll just print 10 is greater than 20. After that, I'll check if 10 is less than 20, and if this condition evaluates to true, I'll print 10 is less than 20. And if none of these two conditions evaluate to true, I'll just print 10 is equal to 20. So let me write the syntax for that. Select, I'll give the case statement, then type when and give the first condition, which would be 10 is greater than 20. I'll type then and state what will happen if this condition is evaluated to true. So I'll just print 10 is greater than 20. Then I'll type when and then state the second condition, which would be 10 is less than 20. I'll type then, and if this condition evaluates to true, I have to print 10 is less than 20. And if none of these conditions evaluate to true, I'll type else and just state 10 is equal to 20. And I'll finish off the case statement with the end keyword. So let me hit execute. So you get the result, 10 is less than 20. So we get this result because the first condition has been evaluated to false. Because obviously 10 is not greater than 20. And since 10 is less than 20, this has been evaluated to true and we print 10 is less than 20. So now let's also implement this case statement on top of our employee table. So before we do that, let us actually have a glance at the employee table. So I'll type select star from employee. Right, so this is our employee table. Now using the case statement, I would want to add a new column, grade, which would be dependent on the salary column. So if the salary is less than $90,000, the grade would be C. If the salary is between $90,000 and $120,000, the grade would be B. And if the salary is greater than $120,000, the grade would be A. So let me write the syntax for that. So I'll type select, and I want all of the columns from the employee table. I'll type start. And I'll add a new column grade, and I'll be getting the values in this column with the help of the case statement. So I'll type case and then type the when keyword and give the first condition. So the first condition would be E salary is less than $90,000. And if this evaluates to true, the grade would be C. I'll type when and say the second condition. So the second condition would be if E salary is less than $120,000. So here, if the first condition is evaluated to false, then it would mean that the salary is greater than $90,000. And after that, we'll check if the salary is between $90,000 and $120,000. And if that evaluates to true, the grade would be B. And if none of these conditions evaluate to true, that would mean the salary is greater than $120,000. So I'll type else, and then the grade which I want is A. And I'll finish off this case statement with the end keyword. And I want all of this from the employee table. So I'll type from and then give the name of the table, which would be employee. I'll type go. I'll select all of this and I'll hit execute. Right, so we see that this new column grade has been added to the employee table. And this grade column is dependent on the salary column. So here we see that the salary is between $90,000 and $120,000. That is why the grade is B. Here the salary is less than $90,000, the grade is C. And over here the salary is greater than $120,000, that is why the grade is A. So this is how we can work with a case statement in SQL Server. And this brings us to the end of the session. Thanks for attending and let's meet in the next class.